Hey guys, it's Jared back here for another vlog type video. I'd like to apologize again for the video and audio quality. 2 weeks in a row, I know, but we're back with the computer for my sister and her family. So, I am at the completed stage of this. I have taken and put in Windows 10 on here. That's a huge upgrade from the Windows 7 32-bit they were running. I've kind of cleaned up the system, and I'm going to take you through what parts we have in here. So, we're going to start with our processor and motherboard. We have an AMD A10 6700, as well as just an Asus motherboard that came in like a pre-built system that my older brother got like 3 years ago. And then we're rocking a Hyper T4 cooler with the fan blowing up into our CX430M power supply. The reason I did that is because that was kind of the only orientation I would go in. But I mean, it does work as well. The power supply will be exhaust in the air, so that is really set up as our only exhaust in the system, aside from what little exhaust the GPU will contribute. And speaking of the GPU, we have an EVGA GTX 950, super clocked. We have 8 gigs of DDR3 from Samsung. And it's just a little green part. And then we have his original 500 gig hard drive and his original DVD drive. Also, you see here we have a green LED. This was a green LED fan, and I went and disconnected the motor. And so now it's just a green LED fan that doesn't have a fan portion to it. The case. This is actually his case. I really like the case. It's an NVIDIA case. That's right, NVIDIA case. It's actually really cool. It has the NVIDIA logo on the front and the side. It was actually a pretty good case to work in. I mean, you can tell the cable management isn't half bad in there. Just kind of have everything running along. No modern case luxuries though. There's no place behind the back panel to hide anything. Actually, there's no room even if you have the toolless holders for the 5¼ inch bay. It will not close the backside panel, which is a little bit of an oversight, but I mean, whatever. It does for the 3½ inch though, so it's actually secured on both sides. The front fan is actually secured by 3M tape, which is how he had it originally. So I just kind of left it like that, and then, like I said, disconnected the motor. And, oh yes, let me tell you what system he was running. So he was running an Intel Core 2 Duo processor and a NVIDIA 9500 GT, I believe. So if we're going to be looking at performance upgrades, I didn't actually do any like synthetic testing because of the whole 32 versus 64-bit. It'd kind of throw it off. When I looked it up online, it's about a 1000% difference on the GPU side and 100% difference on the CPU side, which should give them a huge benefit. And now many of you may be saying, why do you upgrade to an SSD? Honestly, for what they're going to be using it for, I think a hard drive will work. It really hasn't been that bad booting time wise. Maybe about 45 seconds max, which really isn't that bad still. I mean, it's no SSD, like 10 seconds, but 45 seconds really isn't that bad. And yeah, that's kind of the whole rundown of it. It was actually a really fun experience to build in. The only real issue I had was it was originally just going to try to save Windows 32-bit for them. I would have liked to have put a 64-bit on there. I was like, if I don't have, if I don't need to, I'm not going to, because I want to save everything they have. but Windows refused to boot with the new hardware at all. It would crash almost immediately. So I had to hook it up to the old system, which I threw in my other case, essentially. That's like on the floor. I like threw it in there, hooked up the power supply, and then like hooked up to a little monitor from like the old 90s, because I don't have VGA on my ultra wide monitor. And I took off all the important files, and then I reformatted the drive, and so it should be all good to go. And I really hope they enjoy it. Like I said, it's been a lot of fun to build. Oh yeah. So as I said, there's only one exhaust, which is the power supply. The power supply fan will take care of that. There is one intake fan in the front here. It's a stock Corsair, static pressure, 3-pin fan. It should provide a decent amount of airflow. It will be a positive pressure environment, and it is a filtered intake, so that should help with dust reduction, because dust is kind of a problem with the last system. But I mean, honestly, just having that one fan should be fine. Like I said, it should be positive pressure. I did not want to do negative pressure as it had been set up before, especially since on the side panel there is an opening like right where the cooler is. So as I said, positive pressure will just force the air out rather than forcing it in and dusting up the cooler right away. So that should be easy. Also, if we had a negative dust environment, it would go through in the PCI bracket slot, because there's two open brackets here. And while it would feed the GPU more cold air, it would also dust it up pretty easily. So, and temperature is actually running fairly well, although I think the readings might be a little bit off on Afterburner, because it says our current CPU temperature is 2 degrees Celsius, which is nowhere near right, but max of 33 degrees, and then our GPU is sitting at a constant 29 degrees Celsius. So overall thermal should be pretty decent, and it'll allow him to do some pretty decent gaming with a 950. So I hope they really enjoy the system. It'll really help them out, as they've been kind of, I really say, kind of without a computer for a while, so at least a solid one, so that'll really help them out. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.